Hello, everybody. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a certain controversial individual by the name of Nick Fuentes. He, a man in his late 20s, time of recording, is a very, like I said, controversial individual, religiously and politically, as well as being somebody who is a known heresy. He is a known heretic. He is a known sort of fascist. Like, he's not like full-on fascist, but he is like making the mark that if he were to go to war or something, he'd probably end up like a certain individual from World War I that led to World War II. That's all I'm going to really say, right? Because he's very pro the funny 1940s mustache man with a red, white, and black. Anyway, I am not really using this video to bash on the guy. I am really using this video as more of a, he claims to be a Christian, but he doesn't really have those values kind of video. You know, not really like oh, he's this specific Christian denomination, therefore he must be evil. No, I don't think that people of his denomination, whatever denomination he may be, I think he's Catholic, like probably Roman Catholic, but I don't know. Anyway, even if he is, you're still stereotyping that group. And let's say he is Catholic, okay, for the example of this video. Let's say he is Roman Catholic. You're stereotyping your whole denomination, and not just that, but Christianity in general, because, yeah, let's just blame the Jews on everything. And speaking of the Jews, I really don't think this guy is truly a Christian, and even if he is, he's still a dick, you know? Like, I really just think that he's some sort of self-hating Jew, but he doesn't want to admit it because it would offend his demographics, you know? That kind of thing. That's why he's more worried about the Muslims than the Jews. You know, like more worried about the Jews than the Muslims. Sorry, I switched it up there. But even if he sees this video, you are quite literally the reason why people don't treat, say, like I said, the Catholics very good, or any type of mainstream Christianity. Especially denominational Christianity like yours. The problem is that you preach that, oh yeah, we're the religion of good. We're the religion of, you should believe in this. You know, we're the religion of this and that. And as someone who is Christian myself, and I'm not going to specify my denomination for obvious reasons, more personal reasons, but I'm not specifying, you know, for the controversy of this video. Basically, he's not doing what Jesus wanted. Okay? He's not doing what Jesus needed to do, which he did do. And you know what that is? Not being this, big anti-Semite, whatever. You know? Because just remember, Jesus is probably the only Jew you'll ever like. And on top of that, even if that is the case, you shouldn't use that as an excuse to be, like, prejudiced, you know? Like, I can understand, oh yeah, I don't like the government of Israel or something. But, like, or Palestine, you know, you might not like either of them. You don't want them, the U.S. getting involved. I can understand that, you know, like, oh yeah, I don't want America getting involved in foreign wars, yada yada yada, you know? Like that kind of thing. And, look, I get it, okay? But that doesn't mean that you should blame them for all the problems that go on in your part of the world. Okay? Just because I created my own problem that I could easily solve, but because I don't know how to solve it, it must be the Jews. Like, for example, I spilled my cereal. Must have been the Jews trying to make me spill my cereal. Like, that's basically what he's doing, almost, you know? Like, he's the modern Gen Z version of that. You know, like, blame insert group here instead of actually solving an issue. Like, he can point out an issue, don't get me wrong. This guy can obviously point out an issue. But solving it, on the other hand, that's a whole nother story. You know, like, you're supposed to be, when you're a Christian, and this is regardless of denomination, generally speaking, for any Christian denomination, that obviously, you know, the majority of mainstream Christianity that believes in the Trinity, that believes that Jesus is God, that believes, you know, the three wise men, that believes in Christmas and Halloween and Easter. You know, those kind of Christians. Do you want Nick Fuentes to represent your entire religion? Or do you want Jesus to represent, Jesus Christ to represent your religion? I think I know which one is very obvious in this conversation. And that being Jesus fucking Christ. Because unlike Nick Fuentes over here, Jesus had mercy. Jesus had forgiveness, unforgiving love. You know what Nick Fuentes doesn't have? Exactly that. His loving is very situational. He might have love here, he might have love there. Even if he is an actual Christian, even if he goes to church, he's practicing, even if he's like hardcore devout, that still doesn't change the fact that you're a prejudiced motherfucker, Nick. You got something like, I'm hoping that this is just that one time period where it was like, this is the lowest he'll ever go, and then, I don't know, somebody 10 or 20 years from now will bring up, oh, what about that one time when he was, you know, insert controversial opinion here, you know? That kind of thing. Like, right now, he might seem like this crazy lunatic guy, but in like 10 or 20 years, he'll probably just look back and go, how did I even believe that? You know, like, he looks like one of those guys where it's like, he's really big and controversial and really, like, and I tried to prevent myself from saying this, but pro-Nazi kind of stuff. But I tried to prevent myself because of the whole, you know, anti-Semite Jew stuff. And I'm saying it like that because I don't know how to explain it, because he's so inconsistent with his beliefs, you know? Like, I can't really tell if he's actually a Christian or he's just grifting because he's either some sort of a Christian. He's either grifting what he actually believes, and he might actually be a Christian, who knows. Some sort of Muslim or Jew, and then maybe some other religion, I don't know. But, like, generally speaking, he does not seem like an individual, at least at his current state, his current mental and physical state, you know, spiritual state too, you know, and political state as well, and everything else. He does not seem like the kind of guy you could really become friends with. You could probably become an acquaintance, or like, hey, that's that one weird guy you work with or something. But otherwise, he's just a guy that you probably wouldn't really be, you know, friends with, you know, not like close friends, and not really friends either, because he's just, it's not to say that I can't forgive him. It's not to say that I can't treat him like a human. Obviously, I try to treat every human that I see like, well, like they're human. And Nick Fuentes, on the other hand, he, for some reason, thinks that being treated like a human is wrong. Like, being treated the exact kind of person that he is all of a sudden wrong because he's been that way his whole life. And then it's like, oh no, they're discriminating against the whites. They're discriminating against my kind of specific Christian. Not just any Roman Catholic. No. His Catholicism. His whatever. You know? Like, it really makes me feel bad for my own religion. It really makes me feel bad for people of that denomination. You know? And it makes me feel bad for people that are of those groups that have to be lumped in or associated with him, because even if they don't know who he is, even if they never met the guy or heard the guy or know the guy's name, there's going to be somebody who will, and will persecute somebody over this one fucking guy. Like, the day that this happens, all it takes is one, like, really particularly, like, controversial case that, like, blows up, you know, politically incorrect or not. Once that happens, I really do believe that this Nick Fuentes guy will just, either one of two things will happen. Either we'll get, like, basically a new Adolf Hitler, or we're gonna get, like, he's gonna basically default to actually being a normal person, which I doubt, but that's what could happen. Like, it could shake him up so much that he becomes like an actual, like, somebody you could take seriously, somebody you could talk normally to, somebody you could live with without having to worry about, hey, he's gonna be talking about the Jews all the time and how every single slight inconvenience or problem, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. If it was really the Jews, explain to me why all the problems lead to you, not the Jews. Because if it was the Jews, then that would mean you are Jewish. That's why I said earlier in the video I think he was Jewish. Because he brings it up a lot, he talks about it, and anytime there's a big situation, somehow, some way, he mentions Israel, Jewish, some sort of person that's a Jew or some person that's related to the Jews. Okay? Maybe blood related, maybe like, oh, there's that one time he saw a Jew or something. Somehow, some way, he's very Twitter, X mindset, okay? Now, you could say technically Instagram, but that's just kind of what it is. Whereas this motherfucker right here, he is complete Twitter X brain. Alright? He is complete Nimbo Bob. Alright? He's not somebody that is like in the head. You know, like he's not all there mentally. Like, that's what he seems like. Maybe he is all there, it's just he doesn't really act that way. You know, I wish this guy was a normal human being, was a average individual. But he's average in the sense that he's like physically average or mentally average maybe. But if you ask me, spiritually and politically and maybe even sports-wise, I don't know if he's into sports, this guy is just not all there. Like, just something about him. And it's not even a vibe or anything. It's just like, there's something about him that I know is wrong, but I can't exactly say it because I don't know how to describe it. He's just kind of like, not quite dead, not quite alive. You know? That's the closest thing I can come up to it as. Anyway, I'm going to end this video generally here. And look, Nick Fuentes, if you are watching, don't take this as a personal attack. Do not try to take this personally, please. This is more of just like, not necessarily to change your worldview, just more of like, you're kind of morally all over the place. At least if you're gonna be immoral, at least be consistent, okay? At least have some sort of true consistency. And the reason why I say that is so that way I can get the idea of what kind of person you truly are, at your, like, whatever you currently are, whatever individual you may be. But, like, remember this, if you ever watch this, Nick. You are not holier than thou. You are not above Jesus. You are not above the Pope. You are not above yourself. You are the only person that is equal to yourself. Okay? Now, I might not be above you, but I can tell you something right now. It is not good for you to just bash everything on insert group here. Okay? Like you can talk about that all you want. Oh yeah, but this and this and this and this and this. But eventually you're gonna run out of those kind of things. And you might go, oh, I'll never run out of those kind of things. Well, even if you do, here's the thing. You will never get treated right because you just keep doing it. So if you want to get treated right, if you want to be treated like a normal human being, like you're this, regular Christian guy or whatever, start acting like one. Become one. Do something, okay? Alright? Jesus is your God. Act like he's your God. Go read the Bible more or something, bro, because instead of finding hatred for the Jews, why don't you find love for Jesus? Can't you just do that? Can't you just let a nigga live? Huh? Just let a nigga live. Now, I treated you with your own medicine. I thank you for at least watching this video, even if you completely disagreed. Alright. Now that I ended this video, the last thing I gotta say is, just remember, stay ugly.